Hello and welcome to my new series, Buy It Once, where I'm going to be telling you how you can save a specific type of seed for a plant and grow it from seed to harvest, for making sure that you only have to buy that plant once, whether you're buying at the nursery or you're buying a pack of seeds, and save money and grow your own seed stock, which I think is really beneficial. One of the reasons this is so good is because it's going to code in your plant's genetics and epigenetics what the babies need in order to survive in the environment that they were grown in. So just like we pass on traits, plants are passing on traits, and if you're breeding them in your soil, on your property, or wherever you're at in that environment, they're going to continue to improve in that environment if you're breeding them there. And there are a few other things, so we're going to get into that as well, like how to make sure that you get good pollination, get good seeds, making sure your seeds don't get moldy, all that good stuff. So let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about the humble sunflower. A lot of people may have saved seeds from sunflowers before because they're a popular treat, roasted sunflower seeds. While you can eat the seeds from all the types of sunflowers, according to my research anyway, I'm not a doctor, maybe look that up, but maybe I shouldn't be saying that, but I think they're all edible. and but people usually won't eat the seeds from these kinds of varieties that are mostly ornamental, and you'll see why. These seeds are a little bit smaller, and so you're not going to get a lot of meat out of them, and they usually don't produce as well and as big of a head, so you're going to get more seeds, bigger seeds, and easier to eat seeds if you grow like a mammoth variety, or there's a few other kinds that are slipping my mind right now. But anyway, lots of big varieties that you can eat and lots of small beautiful varieties that you can just enjoy as cut flowers or in your garden, and they're great for pollinators. So what you're going to do is wait until the head of your sunflower gets nice and ripe and dry. We're going to look at one right here. This is a good head that's probably ready for harvest. If you want to double check, then you can brush away some of this stuff right here and make sure that there's some seeds in there. You can pull one out with your hand if you want, and you can check and make sure that there's some seeds in there. And if it's got a seed in there, that's good. You're going to want to clip that head off, and you're going to want to put it somewhere nice and dry. If you put it somewhere too moist, there's a good chance that is going to get moldy and it could rot all your seeds. This is key to saving all different kinds of seeds. So for sunflower seeds, you get that head, you get it nice and dry like so, and then you can harvest the seeds out of it. You can harvest the seeds out while it's wet if you let the plant get pretty mature. However, they can be really sticky and take a long time. So I really prefer to dry them out because then they just flake and fall out, and it's really easy. One of the ways that you could dry this out if you live in a place that has high humidity is using a dehumidifier in the room that you're drying them on, or you can put them in a dehydrator. And then once they're nice and dry, get those seeds out. You want to always make sure that your seeds are nice and dry as well before you store them in a bag or a jar or anything, because they can also get moldy if there's moisture. And you want to make sure that you store them out of direct sunlight and anywhere that they could get moist. If they're in direct sunlight, the warming and cooling effect will cause some respiration from the plant material, and it could create some moisture in the bag, again leading to mold. So you're going to want to avoid all those things. And once you do that, you get your dry seeds, put them in a bag, and you can store them for the next time you want to plant them. And planting is really easy for sunflowers. Just want to put them about 1 inch or 2 inches deep, just shove them in, and they really like to be directly sown. All right, some plants don't like being transplanted, and sunflowers are one of them. It can give them some shock and cause them to go into flowering too early, and that could cause stunted, really small sunflowers. And you want nice, big, beautiful, healthy sunflowers. So direct sowing them is a great technique. If you're not able to direct sow them because there's pests in your area like birds and rats eating them, then there's a couple of techniques that you could apply. One of them is to sow them in an area where there's other plant material, and sow a lot of them, and also cover them with mulch. This will help them stay safe from like all the ground eating stuff like mice, because they're buried beneath the mulch until they come out, and also protect them from some birds as well. If you're still not able to grow them by sowing a lot of seeds, you can cut like a trench and just sprinkle a lot of seeds in there and let them all come up and thin them out if there's too many, to give yourself to like boost your chances. And odds are, if you know anyone that grows sunflowers, you can get tons of free seeds from them. So you can either sow them thickly and mulch them. If that still doesn't work, then you can sow them and transplant them, but you're going to want to make sure that you transplant them before they get root bound in that pot. If they get root bound in that little pot, then they're not going to get really nice and big and healthy for you. So if you transplant them, do it soon. Hey, it's me, the next day, with a little interruption because I wanted to add a little bit of detail about how sunflowers like to grow. Like their name suggests, sunflowers love the sun. So you're gonna wanna grow them from spring to fall. If you're in a place where it doesn't freeze, you can grow them in the winter, like here in California. They'll just be a little bit smaller and maybe a little bit more prone to disease. If your sunflowers are starting to wilt on the leaves, that means they are thirsty. And the bigger variety of sunflower you grow, the more water they are going to need to survive. Sunflowers do create a hormone in their roots that can stifle a little bit of the competition. It actually can make it harder for some plant roots to get established. So if you're trying to grow some big vegetables, don't put a bunch of sunflowers too close to them. And sunflowers pollinate themselves. This is the pollen right here, that little yellow stuff. If you don't have good pollinators flying and buzzing and crawling around your garden, then you can go up to your sunflowers and just rub the pollen with your finger, and that'll help it to pollinate itself. If your sunflower has a bunch of seeds but they don't have anything, no meat on the inside, that means there wasn't good pollination. Weather can affect this as well, so the wet weather is going to affect your pollination potentially with lots of different plants. All right, now back to the video. Anyway, I think that pretty much concludes growing sunflowers from seed to harvest to saving the seeds. So make sure you only buy it once. All right, thanks.